Hey guys, let's talk about the top reasons why you're not getting her off. Hey, my name is Jen Kelly and I've been in the pleasure, intimacy, and bedroom space for going on 12 years. So this is kind of my niche. So listen up if you need some tips and tricks. Now, when it comes to a woman in the bedroom, 80% of women need clitoral bell stimulation in order to have that big O. So if you're skipping this area, that is the number one reason why she is not having an O. And I'm not just talking about when you're doing the good old deed. I'm talking beforehand. Think of women like ovens, men are like microwaves. A nice light breeze comes through and you can direct traffic with it. Am I right? Men have like spontaneous desire, women have reactive desire. They need to think about being turned on before they can even be turned on. If she bends over to get a pizza out of the oven and you're like, oh, look at that, that is not turning her on. Okay? Number one, she can burn her forehead on the oven. Okay? Zero turn on there. It may have worked once, it may have worked twice, but the other 150 times that you have done it is just an inconvenience. Is there spontaneous times that she is turned on? Absolutely. But it is more often than not going to be reactive. So what does this mean? A little bit of touching, a little bit of emotional connection, a little bit of hand holding is going to be what is going to turn on your partner if you have a female one. That's how we start with emotional foreplay. Number two is going to be physical foreplay. That's where we're going to start with things like the body. The skin is the largest erogenous zone. It all has the most nerve endings. Well, I remember like the first time somebody touched us like right here, right? And it sent electrical bolts up and down your spine and you were like, we recreate that with things like massage, okay? So do a little bit of rubbing, do a little bit kissing on the neck or around the ear or even down to the happy trail. Am I right? Okay. And that's where we also start with a little bit of extra rubbing on the clitoral bell. Light rubbing, okay? Light inside. We're not jackhammering and just forceful going in. If she's on medications like birth controls, antidepressants, antihistamines, all of those things can dry out the area. Don't be using spit to like and go in. We want to be using something like a personal moisturizer. Water-based and pH balanced is going to be the best. If you need some help finding one of those, head right on over to my profile and click the link. I'm going to have one in there that is not only safe for use on her girl, but it's also really good for use with something like a CDOM. Okay, it's FDA cleared. It's not going to deteriorate that. So no babies are going to happen if you don't want one. Next thing, Jen, I'm doing foreplay. Still not happening. What's your speed like? Are you finishing before her every single time? On average, not only do we need a little bit of foreplay, but if you're said to be finishing in about 2 to 3 minutes, women need a little bit more time. Let's work on boosting up your stamina. There's a couple things we could be doing there. Whether it be training your body to have multiple O's or even training your body ahead of time by bringing yourself to the brink and then stopping yourself, that can also work, or by even applying something like an endurance cream. I have one of these on the site. Or once you're finished, continue to attend to her needs. That's big D energy. Now, if you're like, I'm doing all of that, what's next? We're also going to talk about medications, hormones, things like postpartum, stress level. All of those things can disconnect our brains from our bodies and prevent us as women from having O's. And remember that as women and even as men, the O is not the end all be all of intimacy. You don't need to have an O in order to enjoy intimacy. So ladies, if you are watching this and you're like, I just cannot have one, does that mean that I'm broken? No, it just means that you're just not having one right now in this moment. Take the pressure off of yourself to have one every single time and it will come. Literally.